Have you ever felt too small to do something big? Let me tell you a story about a little hero who proved that size has nothing to do with courage. Deep in the heart of a shimmering forest, a river called Silver Stream danced and sparkled under the sun. And in this river lived a tiny otter named Ollie. Ollie's favorite thing in the whole world was to float on his back, letting the gentle current rock him like a cradle. He'd gaze up at the big, fluffy clouds, imagining they were giant scoops of ice cream or fluffy sheep grazing in a blue meadow. His days were peaceful, filled with quiet joy and the soft gurgle of the water. One particularly sunny morning, as Ollie was enjoying his cloud watching, a sudden, frantic sound broke the calm. Splash! Splash! Splish! It was the sound of struggle, and it was close. Ollie popped his head up, his whiskers twitching with concern. The splashing was coming from a small cove nearby, where the water swirled around a cluster of large, mossy rocks. He backed away a little, his mind racing. He thought about all the strong animals in the forest. Bucky the beaver could chew through a tree trunk in minutes. Barnaby the bear could move boulders with a single swipe of his paw. They could help, but they were all the way on the other side of the river, and Mina didn't have that much time. She was getting weaker, her splashes becoming less frantic. Just as a tear of despair pricked Ollie's eye, a memory surfaced in his mind. It was his mother's voice, warm and steady, from a time when he was too scared to learn how to dive. She had nuzzled him close and whispered, "Ollie, my dear, bravery isn't about being big or strong. It's not about never being scared. Bravery is about trying your very best, even when your knees are knocking and your heart is thumping like a drum." Her words echoed in his ears, clearing the fog of fear from his mind. He looked at Mina again, her tiny body struggling. She was his friend. He couldn't just leave her there. He had to try. Taking a deep, shaky breath that puffed out his chest, Ollie filled his lungs with air and courage. He wasn't Bucky the beaver or Barnaby the bear. He was Ollie the otter, and he was going to do his best. He dove beneath the surface, the cool water instantly silencing the world above. Bubbles streamed from his nose as he swam towards the two giant rocks. Down below, the situation looked even more daunting. The rocks were firmly planted in the riverbed. He circled them once, twice, looking for a weak spot, a leverage point. He saw how Mina was pinned by her side. He had to push the rocks apart, just a little bit. It seemed impossible. He positioned himself, planting his back paws firmly against the river floor. He took a moment, closed his eyes, and thought of his mother's words one more time. Bravery is about trying. Then, He opened his eyes, focused on one of the rocks, and pushed. He pushed with every ounce of strength in his small body. His muscles strained. His whiskers trembled. At first, nothing happened. The rock didn't budge. It felt like pushing against a mountain. Doubt crept back in. Was this foolish? Was he really too small? But then he thought of Mina, and a fresh surge of determination flowed through him. He let out a muffled grunt underwater and pushed again, harder this time. He put all his will, all his friendship, all his hope into that one single push. And then, he felt it. A tiny, almost imperceptible shift. The rock had moved. It was only a fraction of an inch, but it had moved. Hope exploded in his chest like a firework. It worked. He could do this. He repositioned himself and pushed again, and again, and again. With each push, the rock groaned and scraped against the riverbed, moving just a tiny bit more. He wasn't a bear, but he was persistent. He was an otter with a purpose. Finally, with one last mighty heave, the gap between the rocks widened just enough. Whoosh! Mina shot out like a silver arrow, free at last. She zipped around Ollie in joyful circles, her scales sparkling once more in the filtered sunlight. Ollie surfaced, gasping for air, his body tired but his heart soaring. As he broke the surface, he was met with a surprising sound. It was applause from the riverbank. All the other animals who had gathered to watch squirrels, frogs, and even a family of ducks were cheering and chattering with excitement. Bucky the beaver slapped his tail on the water in a loud salute. Mina swam up to Ollie, nuzzling his chin. "You saved me, Ollie," she chirped. "You were so brave. I was so scared, but you didn't give up." Ollie looked around at all the cheering faces and then down at his own small paws. He felt a warmth spread through him that had nothing to do with the sun. He wasn't the biggest or the strongest animal in the forest, that was true. But floating there, was his friend safe and the river chorus singing his praises, Ollie realized something incredibly important. His mother was right. Bravery really wasn't about size at all. It was about having a big heart and the courage to try. And on that day, the smallest otter in Silver Stream had made a very, very big difference. So the next time you feel small, or scared, or think you can't do something, remember Ollie. Remember that true strength comes from within, and even the smallest act of courage can change the world for someone. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed Ollie's story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more tales that warm the heart. We'll see you next time.